was promised that the law of attraction would solve everything. That I could have the perfect life, a booming business, tons of effortless abundance. I was told that if I just thought positively enough and got my vibrations up really high, the universe would basically just bend to my will, give me everything that I would ask for, and I would be golden. Instead, that path led me to the most profound and debilitating burnout of my entire life. I was left exhausted, cynical, and feeling like a complete spiritual failure. This is my unfiltered truth about how everything went wrong. I'm going to share my whole journey with you, from the first wide-eyed obsession with manifestation all the way to the crash that made me question everything. And more importantly, I'm going to share why I'm starting over, how I'm starting over, how I'm doing it all from scratch to find out what actually is working and what doesn't work. Because let me tell you, staying positive all the time and high vibe, that's not what I'm about. I'm human. I have emotions that fluctuate, and I'm going back to the beginning to do the work that I dodged the first time. So if you've ever felt like you were doing spirituality wrong, or if the constant pressure to always stay positive and high vibe has left you feeling more empty than enlightened, I really hope that my story can offer some clarity and help you, and maybe some relief, and let you know that you are not alone. My journey, like it does for so many, started with this deep feeling of being disillusioned with my life, going from waking up, going to a job, coming home, going to bed, doing it all over, all of this struggle bus. There had to be a better way. Outside, things were fine. I had a normal life just like everyone else, was checking the boxes. I went to college, I was married, had a job, not necessarily a great job, but I still had a job, and I was doing all of the things you're supposed to do. But the problem was I just felt like something was missing, something was off. I wanted more, but I didn't know how to achieve more. And I was introduced to the law of attraction, and I was actually introduced to this little book right here. I'm sure you've all read The Secret, by my ex-husband's mom. And at first, I was very hesitant. I am a person that really pushed myself away fully from anything remotely resembling religion or church. I was briefly in a church during my childhood for a period of time. It was not a good experience. And so I was very hesitant, but also it was a little seductive, if you know what I mean. This whole idea that the energy that you put out there comes back to you. I'm like, okay, I just have to change how I'm thinking and things will start turning around, that your thoughts create your reality. And for me, someone who felt completely powerless in how my life was going, it felt more like things were happening to me and not for me. And so being introduced to something like this felt empowering. And I learned that no, I wasn't a victim of my circumstances. I was the creator of them. These negative thoughts that I was having was creating more of this negativity in my life. And I was like, well, I just have to switch it around. I just went off the deep end and got lost, and we're going to recorrect and get back on track. After reading The Secret, like I said, I actually went and found the movie as well, watched it, and I just kept getting more of that, I guess you could say manifestation, law of attraction, whatever high. I was full all in. I was all about it. And from there, I was introduced to Abraham Hicks. For those of you that don't know, Abraham is a non-physical collective that Esther Hicks communicates with. He passes their message along. And so I was all for it, and I went a little crazy. I got books, I got decks, I even attended a conference, an Abraham Hicks conference with my former mother-in-law, and I was all in. I was gonna do everything I can. I started getting more and more nonfiction books, all law of attraction, spirituality, mindset, manifestation, your beliefs. You've heard of it. I probably haven't. I started building up my collection of Oracle and Tarot decks. Started getting all the courses. Oh my gosh. And purging all this money. And the problem is that you see these books all right here? They're half read. These decks right here, I haven't touched in probably a decade. The different courses that I've gotten, I'd say they're probably all half finished, because in the beginning I was so lit up. I was feeling the magic. I was getting the synchronicities. I was getting random little checks showing up in my mailbox. I was manifesting a parking spot or lighter traffic on my way to work. I was doing the small things and it was exciting. But the problem is that I wasn't having these major shifts happening in my life. And so I felt like I was doing something wrong. And so I would get through, again, like I said, a portion of the book, but then when the little things I was learning and putting into practice were not moving the line, I just got into burnout. It was one day, I wouldn't say it was one day, it wasn't a flip switching or anything. It was just gradual of putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work. No results, no results, no results, no results. And I fell into the trap that most of us do, that toxic positivity trap, because there's this pressure that is put on everyone to keep your vibrations high, keep your thoughts positive, just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And all those negative thoughts you're having, you're just inviting more negativity in your life. And so my head was spinning like crazy. And I'm like, I can't do this. Clearly there's something wrong with me if I can't stop the negative thoughts, if I can't keep these crappy situations happening in my life, if I can't do anything. And then this led to me to what is called spiritual bypassing, which is using spiritual ideas to avoid my real feelings. I felt sad, but I was just like, I need to push that away. I need to push it away. I would just slap a positive affirmation on it, like a cheap Band-Aid. If I was angry, I'd force myself to write a gratitude list, all of the things that I'm grateful for, to manufacture more positivity. And this is dangerous because our emotions are our guidance systems, and they mean to tell us what we're feeling when something's wrong, when our boundaries are crossed, and we need to be listening to them, not trying to push them away, not trying to avoid them or ignore them. And I was disconnected from my own inner wisdom. I was shutting off my intuition. I was just focusing on positive, positive, positive. We got this, we got this. Which fed into my next downfall, which was obsessive control. That's the one thing about that they tell you in teachings of law of attraction, manifestation, all of that, is that you cannot control. But the idea of inspired action got twisted in my head. Instead of waiting for genuine or intuitive pulls, I was manic. I was constantly looking for, forcing myself to see signs, pretending that there are signs there. I wasn't taking inspired action. I was taking anxious action. So anytime something would just pop into my head and I'd be like, oh, that's a good idea, I wouldn't take the time to evaluate or anything. I'm just like, go, 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 go. On this, I've got 500 milligrams of caffeine in my body and I've just got to go, because if I miss a sign, then I miss it. And I could lose out on that path being my path to being a millionaire or a billionaire. Like I said, I was very lost, and no, missing one right turn on the road is not going to overthrow your entire life and be the difference between you living under a bridge or having $1 million in your bank account. It's not like that at all. And then it came into this situation of and feeling bad about myself. Oh, I didn't meditate this morning. Well, I'm messing up on my practice. I didn't visualize. I didn't do my gratitude. I didn't write down the thing that I'm trying to manifest 100 times for 300 days straight. You guys, there's some wild stuff out there. All of these teachings that people have. They're all over social media, and you can bet your booty that I have bought into all of them. Yes, I have been doing the, let's call it the Bart Simpson sentences on the chalkboard, where you literally take one sentence of what you're wanting to manifest, and you write it 100 times over, I don't even know how many, I think it's 55 times for 55 days or something. I don't even remember what it is. But yes, I was doing that when I was trying to manifest a house. When that was a big thing for me in my marriage, was I was trying to make it to where me and my ex-husband were in the position to where we could buy a house, we could have land, we could raise our daughter all the ways that better than we were raised, because we both grew up the poorer side. But the problem is, I was pushing so hard for all these manifestations for this marriage. I wasn't even supposed to be in that marriage. That marriage fell apart when it was supposed to. And now looking back at it, I was stressing myself out so bad, working so hard for these goals. And if I would have taken the time to actually be intentional, journal intentionally, meditate intentionally, do the work intentionally, listen to my intuition, really get in there, maybe I would have realized that sooner. Who knows? And that leads us back to the third thing that trapped me, that pulled me down, which I'm going to refer to as spiritual consumerism. Again, I've got all the books, I've got all the courses, I've got loads and loads of crystals. I was pulling all the tools in and thinking, okay, I gotta just get this next book, and I get this book, and then that's gonna be it. I gotta get this next deck, it's gonna be the ones that's gonna help me, and that's gonna be it. I gotta get this next course. It's $2,000 that I don't have, but it's okay. I'll put it on a credit card because that money is gonna come to me. This course is gonna get me that money. And it was just this downfall of all of this over and over and over, this vicious cycle of telling myself, I just need one more thing, and it'll be there. The desperation energy was just dripping off of me. Like, if that had a smell, I probably would have smelled horrific to anyone I walked by, because I just felt like there was something I was doing that I wasn't doing. I hadn't found that magic formula yet, or that magic whatever, because obviously that's why none of this was working for me, because I just needed that next thing. As I'm talking about this, it kind of makes me feel like I'm looking for my next hit, basically. And I became addicted to the idea that something, reading a book, going through a card deck, just having crystals on my shelves, or carrying them with me, having them on my desk, getting that next course, I became addicted to the idea that doing these things, that's one of these things, is going to be what explodes my life and makes everything right. Of course, that's not how it works. We all know this. This all came to head pretty recently. I wouldn't say that it kind of hit me all at once. It hit me in a way that I didn't expect. I was just on the weekend, sitting on my couch, watching some TV, not doing anything, kind of just relaxing, and I looked over at, because I have a bookshelf in my living room that has all of my nonfiction and like spiritual and manifestation books and everything. I looked at that shelf of all of those unread books, because while yes, I have read some, I've obviously read this one, and I have read quite a few of them. The amount of books that I have read compared to the amount of ones I haven't read on that shelf is kind of embarrassing. And I just showed you 4 of them that I haven't finished reading yet. However, that day I was sitting there, I was like, what am I even doing? I have gone into this journey in such a manic, obsessive way that's not healthy. And so what did I do? I was like, I picked up this book. Like, I am going to start at the beginning again. Reading the Law of Attraction, reading this book that I have had on my shelf. And I vowed to myself to start my spiritual journey more intentionally. And because I'm not getting what I want, I'm not doing things the way I'm supposed to be. And the start of my journey, it was a race, it was a sprint, like it was full-blown running, letting the world pass me by. I'm like, no, I just need to keep my head down. I need to keep going. I need to keep doing those affirmations. I need to keep focusing. And that's not what your spirituality journey looks like at all. It's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's longer. You know, you could even consider it a slow walk. And that's what I'm doing. I'm starting over slowly. I'm being intentional. I'm reading the books, but I'm journaling at the same time, thinking about, dropping down my thoughts as I read. I am highlighting, I'm underlining, I am making these books my own and writing all the notes in it. And that's the problem. All of these teaching things that I was learning in the beginning, they weren't the problem, but it's the way my application of what I was learning was the problem. I was treating the law of attraction as if it was my own personal vending machine. I was putting in my order and expecting it to come out in return. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't doing some of the actual work. I was kind of just throwing things out there, hoping for something to stick. And, like I said, maybe I'd get little things trickling, but nothing that was life-changing. And I totally ignored all of the nuanced parts. The parts about self-love, it's a major one that I've been working on diligently, releasing any resistance I have, and the law of allowing. Allowing is about letting go of that desperation, that control, and not trying to force anything. It's about trusting that whatever is meant for you will come to you, and trusting that you're being guided in the direction that you're supposed to go, the path of least resistance. And my burning out and falling apart was my exact response to fighting that. I was fighting. I needed the control. But now things are different, like I said. Doing the work is not about checking something off the list or, going through and just reading the book and then saying, oh, done, let me grab the next one and just plow one through them. It's more of a process. It's messy, it's uncomfortable. If you're really doing the work, you're really diving deep in, it's gonna make you feel uncomfortable. You're going to have to recognize where your faults lie. For me, I have a self-love issue, I have money blocks, childhood trauma. These are a lot of things that I have been working on, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be. One big shift is redefining success. It's not about chasing the external things, the money, the career, the relationship, and operating from a place of, I do not have these things. Because when you fight and you search for those and you say, I don't have the things that I want, this is what I need, and focus on the lack of, that's where things come crumbling down by thinking, I don't have the money, this is the money I want, this is the money I need, blah, 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 blah. I'm not in the relationship I want, I don't have the relationship. When you focus on those things, that's what's happening in your life. And so when you focus on, how do I feel good? Just keep thinking on, I need to be, now the real goal is to cultivate the joy, to focus in the present, to be happy for the things that are good in my life, to tell myself that things are good. Of course, they can always be better, but things are good, because if I focus on things being good, then things will be good. I know it sounds silly, but I'm not going for glamour here. I'm not going for anything more than improving myself, my self-compassion, my self-love, build up and be a better person so that I can be better for everyone else around me. And I'm over the hustle mindset, you guys. I am so over it. I have burnt myself out more times than I can count with my spirituality, with being an author, with freaking everything in my life. And I'm done with that. I'm not going to be killing myself, working all the hours, doing all the things. I'm focusing on intention. I'm focusing on what makes me happy. And to start, or not to start, I want to now pull a card to honor this new way of being, this slower, more intentional living. I want to do something I couldn't have done authentically before. I have actually never pulled cards for people, but I'm feeling called to pull a card from, like I said, the very first deck I ever purchased, the Ask and It's Given deck. And this isn't about anything in particular. This is just a collective card for all of us, a good message. And we'll see what happens. Oh. So the card I got is my emotions are vibrational interpreters. It says your eyes, your ears, even your nose, tongue, and fingertips are translating vibrations, but your most sophisticated vibrational interpreters are by far your emotions. By paying attention to the signals of your emotions, you can understand absolute precision everything you are living or have ever lived. Which is so crazy because this brings me right back to what I was talking about in the beginning, where I was pushing and shoving my emotions down and ignoring them and trying to look past them and stay positive and blah, 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 blah. And this is exactly what my lesson on burnout had to teach you. It's a reminder of us to let go, that we don't need to micromanage everything, that we need to feel our feelings and pay attention to what feels good, what doesn't feel good, how to let go, how to trust. My journey is far over. Honestly, it kind of feels like it's just now beginning. I'm just unlearning years of spiritual perfectionism and the idea that my self-worth is tied to my ability to manifest things. I'm committed to documenting this real, unfiltered process, the good days, the bad days, all of it. The biggest lesson I've learned so far is that the point of this path was never to be perfect, to have a flawless destination. It's to enjoy the journey itself, because seriously, that's what life's about, you guys. We're supposed to be enjoying every day, not hustling, working ourselves like crazy, finally reaching that goal and then living life. It's not about escaping the human experience. It's about diving into the divine fully and more honestly. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be whole. We are human. We are not perfect. Now I want to hear from you. This can't be a one-way street. Have you ever gone through spiritual burnout? Have you ever felt a pressure of toxic positivity or getting lost in the rules of it all? Please share your story in the comments. Let's create a space where we can talk about the real, messy, beautiful, and sometimes hard parts of this journey without any judgment. Your story matters. If this resonated with you, and if you're tired of the spiritual highlight reel and want a more authentic conversation, please give this video a like and subscribe. I'm going back to the beginning, and I invite you to join me as we learn how to do this work together, one real step at a time. I also have a Patreon called The Ritual Room, which I will link down below. I will have a journal prompt associated with this video. There's also journal prompts associated with every single video I've published so far, as well as a monthly ritual that I post in there. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I am appreciative for all of you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.